Hey, everybody. Welcome to CryptoCoinMindSet. Happy Monday, a start to your week. Hopefully, you've had a good start to the week. Appreciate everybody jumping in and being here with me today. I know I put out the topic of this this live stream kind of last minute because, I kind of wanted to continue on with what I've been talking about in this last couple of live streams. With regard to where we're standing economically here in the United States and how you can prepare and all that kind of stuff, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. But I wanted to bring in some other perspectives, and people we've had in or reviewed before, in particular Alina Petrova, and link to her video in the description of this live stream. If you're not already following her, definitely follow her. Great analyst, CPA, just great videos, very informative, very accurate, very worth watching. Worth watching if you're looking for the bigger economic picture. Automatic Beats, welcome, my friend. Good morning to you, sir. Appreciate you being here as always. Appreciate it. And before we kick everything off, we're going to definitely take a look at the markets. So again, appreciate everybody being here. And and we got some on Facebook chiming in at this point. So welcome, everybody, welcome. And feel free to put comments, questions, whatever in the live chat. Only place you can't do that is if you're on Twitter. I appreciate everybody on Twitter on Friday, Crypto on the Rocks. We had I think almost 15 or so people watching on Twitter, but unfortunately, when you're on Twitter, you can't interact with the live chat. So as much as I appreciate you there, if you want to interact with the live chat, you definitely got to jump into either YouTube or Facebook. And yes, don't forget, if you're new here, to subscribe, tick that bell icon, click the all. That way you get notified every time I go live and every time I put out a great video. Lots of great content coming. And don't forget, smash up the likes here. I appreciate that very much. Smash them up. Yes. Yes, sir. All right. Well, let's kick things off with a quick look at the market and see where everything is right now. And let's share that with you. CoinGecko. Here we go. Bring that on up here. All right. You know what? Let me make that a little bit bigger for you. That way it's easier for you to see. All right. Let's take a look at the market. So Bitcoin up above 43K. Now, it was a little bit higher than this when we were on Crypto on the Rocks on Friday. But I mean, all things being equal right now, it seems to be kind of holding steady in that 43K range, which, hey, you want to know what? Winner, winner, chicken dinner for Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency space. Because again, as always, as goes Bitcoin, so goes the cryptocurrency space for the most part. I'd say cheers, but coffee. I need coffee. Got another pot of brewing when I'm done with this live stream. Anyway, okay, Bitcoin doing pretty well. And you can see Ethereum up over 3% at 2314. I mean, it's been pretty consistently above that 2300 mark. So Ethereum doing okay. BNB still, even though it's down a little bit, above the $300 mark. That's great. Solana, I know we got Solana fans here. 97.50. It was up over $100, so it's down a little bit overall, but up 1.5% according to this in the last 7 days. I think, again, Solana going to be a huge player in this cycle. So where's my? I usually get a. Yep, there we go. It's automatic beats. Solana to the moon. Yes. I think we're going to see huge gains with regard to Solana. So let's see what else we got. XRP still hovering above that 50-cent mark while still being down over 3% in the last 7 days. It still hasn't quite recovered from that hack of Chris Larson's wallet, the news of that. So it is what it is with regard to XRP. I still think XRP's got lots of room to move. Cardano up almost 3% in the last 7 days at 50 cents, just over And again, I'm still thinking Solana's got a little bit of weak. Solana. Oh my goodness. Cardano got a wee bit of weakness in it. I still think it should go down a little bit, but we shall see. I've been wrong before. I'm right some of the time. Oh, that's too funny. So I say Girthy Gains. Yeah, exactly. Link mooning. Yeah, we're about to get to Chainlink there. And yeah, lots of good things with Chainlink. Matter of fact, you know what? Let's jump over to Chainlink right now. Up 35.8% in the last 7 days, 7% of that in the last 24 hours. Link up to $19.46 US. And that's huge gains on a huge upward and to the right trajectory for Chainlink. Lots of good things going on with Chainlink. Quick stop at Doge because we got to. Just under 8 cents, down overall in the last 7 days. Tron, I mean, I'm sorry, it's still up over 11 cents, and honestly, pushing that 12-cent mark, I'm kind of almost impressed with Tron. Polygon Matic up 1.5%, 78 cents. Again, I think that's going to be another one that's got a bunch of upward trajectory going on in this bull cycle. Litecoin, I like Litecoin for what it's meant to be. Pay what you got to pay, and save your Bitcoin. Now, many of the people that's probably watching this live stream right now were on Crypto on the Rocks this past Friday. On my Friday's Crypto on the Rocks, we celebrated the 1,000 subscriber mark on YouTube. So we did a couple of giveaways, and one of the giveaways was $10 in Litecoin. And boom, that got sent out. You watched that live on the stream. So yeah, to me, Litecoin, what it's supposed to be used for. We also gave away a copy of the Bible and Bitcoin to a newcomer, won that one, Crypto Beetle, and I'll be sending that book out to him probably tomorrow. So if you're watching Crypto Beetle, I'll try to get that in the mail tomorrow. So join me, Crypto on the Rocks. We're going to keep trying to do this stuff, but even more importantly, Matrix Money Podcast. During the month of February, we got some great giveaways during the month of February. We got a Tangent Wallet we're giving away. We're going to give away another copy, at least one, maybe two, of the Bible and Bitcoin. We got a jingle miner to give away. So lots of stuff coming on the Matrix Money Podcast. But here's the thing. You got to be subscribed to the Matrix Money Podcast. The link to do that, subscribe to that channel, in the description of this live stream. So go ahead, make sure you like and subscribe. All right, let's keep it going here a little bit. All right, what do we got here? Doja damn stable coin now. It does seem that way, Automatic Beats, doesn't it? Right? And thank you. Appreciate that. You guys have been very instrumental in doing that, which is why I want to celebrate a little bit on last Friday's Crypto on the Rocks. I got myself a little bit of bubbly. We had that, and like I said, we did a couple of giveaways, and so it was a good time. So I appreciate a lot of people in the chat just kind of going along and did those drawings live. So if you want to see how all that went, just visit my channel, catch the last Crypto on the Rocks last Friday, and you can watch all that. All right, let's get back to this. Markets, let's keep going. Bitcoin Cash, again, another one like Litecoin. Use it for what it's meant to be. Pay for shit. Save your Bitcoin. Stellar, down a little bit here, 4.5% in the last 7 days, and just under that 11-cent mark. Immutable X, I'm surprised this didn't make this cycle's crypto portfolio, to be honest. Up almost 16% at $2.24. But might still be some, I think they got room to move in the gaming industry. Is going to be big, I think, in this next bull cycle. So Monero, I like Monero because I think privacy coins as we go forward are going to be a huge thing. Yeah. Matter of fact, Jameson Lopp from Casa put out a tweet about how these dApps and so on are trying to eliminate and erode our privacy online by blocking anyone using a VPN service. And listen, you should be using a VPN. If you don't use a VPN, I'm going to suggest very strongly you do so to keep your information private. And if you want to know which one I use Torguard VPN. Link is in the description of this live stream. If you use that link, you're going to save 50% off whatever package you buy for the life of the time that you have it. So basically, you're going to get it for half price. And I've got no issues with uploads, downloads. The speeds are great. You can cover, I think they've just upped it now where you can cover up to 10 devices under one plan. They also have VPN-based routers. They have privacy email, the whole 9 yards. They have an entire security package. So again, if you want to check them out, link in the description below. And if you use that link, 50% off whatever package you get. But as I was mentioning, you know, I retweeted what he put out there because I've been noticing this trend going on for a while now. And honestly, as a matter of fact, case in point in the crypto space, okay? If for those of you who we haven't gotten to Hedera yet, but in a previous video, maybe, I don't know, a couple of months ago, I did my first one now. As a matter of fact, I'm due for an update. Watch for that. That's coming soon. But showed you how to stake your Hedera hash graph to earn rewards. Now, originally, I was going to show you how to do that on one of the companies building on Hedera called Yamgo. And sounds like a great company. They're doing a lot of interaction with helping to show major companies how they can better create a user experience with their company with regard to rewards programs and those kind of things. And they were doing the same thing with staking your HBAR. The problem is that you can't use a VPN. You got a KYC. It's like, so basically, I talked about this in a previous video. They basically, because I went back and forth with their support, trying to be like, hey, why is this going on? Why are you stopping me from doing this because of my VPN? And basically, they're like, well, you know, we got to KYC you, so we need to know exactly what your what your IP address is, and so on and so forth. And yeah, maybe afterward you can use your VPN later, maybe. No, I walked away from that, and that's what I try to do. I mean, some of them, like you know, sometimes my phone carrier, which is a pain in the ass, I can't stand it, but they've been trying to stop me from using my VPN and so on. So the idea is that more and more of these apps and companies are trying to erode your privacy by stopping you using a VPN, which to me says it's more important than ever to make sure you're using a VPN. So again, if you're interested, Torguard VPN in the description of this live stream. All right, I keep getting off on one thing or another, keeps getting me off on different topics here, but that was why Monero, and I think Monero and privacy coins are going to be huge in the next bull cycle. Then we got Injective, another one down 12.5% that I thought was going to be part of this particular crypto portfolio. Not so much. I am surprised. Filecoin, another D-pin that I think is going to be huge in this bull cycle, down almost 3%, under the $5 mark. So as far as I'm concerned, goodbye for Filecoin. And here's HBAR, Hedera hash graph, under the 7-cent mark, which I'll tell you what, I haven't seen Hedera under 7 cents in a long time. So here we are with HBAR down over 2% after being up 1.5% in the last 24 hours. So HBAR, great buy for HBAR. And again, video on my YouTube channel show you how to go and stake it and have a little bit of passive income coming. Now, Caspa, I know we got Caspa fans watching this, and we got to stop here at Caspa in honor of Crypto Jar, who's got his ROI because of the pricing. Caspa is still barely, but still above the 10-cent mark. All right, let's keep jumping down here. Here we go. Quant. Quant has seen a bit of a pullback. It kind of jumped up really high there for a while. It was one of the cryptos you could have voted for in the last crypto portfolio, and down 2%, just over $100 for quant. Honestly, goodbye for quant if you're looking to DCA, which you should be looking to do. Thorchain, Rune, up 6.7%, 2.5% of that in the last 24 hours. Solidly back above the $4 mark at $4.47. Again, if you have not already checked out Thorchain for your swaps, you really should. And again, videos are coming on that, and I may have to reassess how and when I'm going to be doing those videos, because the video I have coming out this week is showing you how to load the Dash wallet and fund the Dash wallet on your phone so you can live on cryptocurrency. So, this whole last two live streams and a couple of the crypto on the rocks, I've been talking to you how you should be able to live outside of the current economic system before you need to live outside that system. So know how to use it, basically. And this stems back from an interview I did with Joel Valenzuela. Again, link to that is in the description of this live stream. You should definitely watch that. This guy's been living on crypto for over a decade, and he talked us through some of that. And now part of what was in that interview, he said that you could use something called Topper to put money into your Dash wallet once you loaded it to your phone. And that is true, although he was under the impression that Topper was not KYC under a certain amount, and that is incorrect. It is KYC. And you know what? I wasn't giving anybody else my KYC, so I tried to connect my Coinbase. You're going to love this. I'm kind of giving it away a little bit before we even get to that video. But basically, so I tried to, it gives you an option to connect your Coinbase account to, top off your Dash wallet. And it goes through your web browser to get everything set up, and then, it's linked, et cetera, et cetera. But I have too much security on my phone. So it basically blocked that and said, oh, hey, stop using this security browser, because I use Brave browser, privacy by default. I leave the shields up. I'm sorry. I'm not a fan of people being able to track what I do. I always use the Brave browser. I'm not sure that I have a link for that in the description of this live stream, but I suggest very heavily that if you are into maintaining your privacy online, you think about using Brave browser. It's basically built on Chromium, so it runs like Google Chrome, except all of the trackers and all that bullshit is pulled out of it, so it's privacy by default. And you can adjust those levels of privacy, by the way. So consider using that Brave browser as your default browser. Millions of people are already using, including myself. And here's the other thing. With Brave browser, they pay you to watch the ads. You can actually earn the BAT token for watching the ads that advertisers want to get in front of you. Complete opposite of what we got going, right? In the current, I don't care, whatever social media platform you're using, browser you're using, what do? Google's tracking everything you do, and then they're forcing ads that match what you're looking. So you go looking up something about boots. Next thing you know, you're getting ads for boots left and right? Well, not so with Brave browser. Excuse me. And as a matter of fact, again, you earn the BAT token for your attention. Okay, so consider the Brave browser. And if you want to know more about Brave, head on over to my website, CryptoCoinMindSet.com, search Brave browser. And I did a couple of articles explaining the whole thing, how the privacy by default works, and how you can earn some money by utilizing Brave browser. All right, let's get back to the markets here real quick. See if we can't polish this off. So that was that. Let's look down here. I want to make sure we hit right here. The sandbox, that is one of the items you can vote for in this dollar cost average portfolio, down just over 2% at 43 cents. Axie Infinity, $7 even. I'll tell you what, that's been about where it's been at over the last few live streams I've done. It's just been that way. Beam, was our write-in candidate, down almost 3%, even after being up 1% in the last 24 hours at about 1.7 cents. 1.7 cents. I want to just see, the Central Land Mana, that's another one you can opt in for right here in this crypto portfolio cycle, and down about 0.5% at 43 cents. I'll tell you what, I'm sad right now that I got rid of my Mana. I got in on Mana when it was less than 5 cents. I'd be, that's all I got. I sold those a while ago. You know what? That's it. That's where we're gonna go. So let's get out of that. And here we are back in the cycle. So what are we talking about? Well, we've been talking about how, what money is. And in the last live stream I did last Wednesday, we talked about how money is actually debt, how that debt is created and how that debt is recycled by the Fed and other financial institutions to basically perpetuate this, I don't know, debt-based spiral we got going on. And that's kind of to the thumbnail that I put out today. This thing can't last forever. This debt-based system that they got going, we're seeing the beginnings of the spiral right now. And that's what I've been kind of going over in these last couple of live streams and continuing a little bit today. I mean, we're again about a week out of the last FOMC meeting where Powell was basically saying he's not planning on raising rates. He's not planning on lowering rates, blah, blah, blah. Well, of course not. First off, raising rates is a lagging thing. So like we're just feeling the effects now of the initial rate hikes that he did over a year ago. And that's just the way the debt-based cycle works. And, we're talking about stuff like we're starting to see layoffs and so on. And we're going to talk about that again, going through Lena Petrova's video. And again, link to that whole video in the description of this live stream. You should definitely follow her. But I thought we might start out with a look at the current debt clock numbers. Because again, here it is, usdebtclock.org. Okay, 34,205,186,000,000. Like, holy shit. How can you even believe that we can continue to put more and more debt on this? Now, in the last live stream, I talked about how the current intakes, the current income to the US government doesn't even cover the necessities they need to pay. Their obligations, Social Security, et cetera, doesn't even cover that. So what are they doing in order to do that? The US government is creating more debt, and that debt then needs to be serviced by creating more debt, which then needs to be serviced by creating more debt, and so on, and so on, and so on. Eventually, this debt-based cycle is just going to collapse, and we're going to look at that and about that shortly. But here you can see, I mean, like, look how quickly this debt clock is just going up. We're issuing $1 trillion of new debt approximately every 6 months. It's actually a little bit less than that, but approximately every 6 months. This is an unsustainable trajectory. Unsustainable. So again, I would hope that the people who are watching this are like, well, they understand why it is that I'm talking about this. Because, you need to be outside of that system because it's going to collapse at some point. Now, I'm sure they have plenty of tricks up their sleeve to keep kicking this can down the road for maybe even another decade. Who the hell knows? And some of those things that they've got up their sleeve are some things like CBDCs, et cetera, which is going to be an entirely different nightmare. And I've done numerous videos and live streams about that. Head to the YouTube channel, Go into playlists and look up CBDC. Excuse me. Plenty of information there that I've done explaining CBDCs. And if you want more, if you're more of a like read it to understand it kind of person, then head over to my website, CryptoCoinMindSet.com, search CBDC, and I've done some extensive explanations as to what CBDCs are, including the dangers of CBDCs. But beyond that, they're going to try and keep this cycle afloat with debt as long as they possibly can by exporting their debt to other countries, which is what we're doing, by the way, because think about it. In order to buy, although that's changing with things with the BRICS, but up until recently, you had to buy US dollars in order to purchase oil, which then creates a demand for US dollar that's kind of artificial, because if you use your own country's currency or the currency of the country you're purchasing from, you don't need US dollar. But that's another conversation for another video at another time. So let's jump in to see the overview. And we're going to start off with the massive amount of layoffs we are seeing now, because companies waited basically until 2024 in order to put out their layoffs and start laying people off. Why? Because if they had done it at the end of 2023, it would have affected their numbers at the end of the year, right? And stock prices would have dropped and blah, 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 blah. And they don't need that shit at the end of the year. So let's take a look at Lena Petrova. And again, link to this is in the description of this live stream. And you really should be following this lady. She's got her shit together with regard to all this economic stuff. So let's play this first minute or so, and then I'll jump in and out as we need to for my two Satoshis, as it were.
In January, there was a massive surge of 136% month-over-month in job cuts or layoffs in the United States. As I mentioned in my weekly recap post on Substack, US-based employers announced 83,307 job cuts, and this is the most in 10 months. A month prior to that, in December, just for comparison purposes, there were 34,817 layoffs. The job cuts are driven primarily by increased input and labor costs, material costs, as well as expected decrease in consumer and business activity. Companies that announced layoffs are largely driven by the need to cut costs in an increasingly uncertain environment. Among the companies that announced layoffs in January of 2024 were BlackRock, PayPal, Duolingo, Wayfair, eBay, Citigroup, and many more.
Okay, we're going to hold it right there for now. And like, those are major names laying off. And again, they've all come out with it. They've all started publishing it. If you follow, well, I mean, I'm going to guess that mainstream media might not be covering this, or at least to the extent that you can find it out on alternative media sources, such as her Substack and YouTube Rebel channels, etc. And which is why I like her. She's very objective, very well, not completely, but very much US focused with regard to economic indicators and so on, and it's rightly so, in the fact that, again, US dollar still the world reserve currency as of this recording of this live stream, though it is slowly losing that status, as we've seen with BRICS asking them, working to purchase and trade within their own currencies to devalue and take away the necessity of the US dollar and otherwise erode its potential. Now, again, layoffs are generally the first indicator of a problem. And remember, when the Fed started cutting rates back about a year ago, a little over a year ago, what is the impetus? They're trying to slow the economy down by raising these rates. So raising these rates means that companies can't borrow money cheaply anymore, which means they eventually have to decide if they're going to downsize in order to have the company survive, because they can't afford more capital to maintain their current workforce. And we've seen, what did she say, 136% jump in layoffs. That's only the beginning. We're going to be seeing more of this. This is my prediction to you, okay? We're going to be seeing more of this by the end of 2024. The numbers are only going to keep jumping. And if you look at the companies, these are major companies that are sitting here laying people off. PayPal, BlackRock. I mean, think about that for a second. Think about that for a second. Crazy to think that these major companies are laying people off in droves. And again, remember, this is the first sign of an issue, right? The layoffs. All right, I'm going to queue up the next section. It's about a minute long, give or take, on her video that I want to kind of review here. So hang on while I queue that up. All right, here we go. Right about there. All right, we're gonna listen to what she's got to say here, and then we'll talk a little bit more about that. Hang on one second. Let me do that. All right, let's give a listen to Lena.
In my opinion, the main goal was to cut costs as the result of broader trends in the economy that point to a slowdown in consumer demand, in consumer spending, as consumers are taking on more and more debt, as well.
And now we talked about that in the last live stream. I'm going to just interrupt her right now. Whoops. We talked about in the last live stream that consumer debt is like through the roof, all-time highs. Why? Because people are living off their credit cards at this point. And eventually what's going to happen? They're not going to be able to keep up with those credit card payments. And this debt-based system that's going to be the next leg that's going to come out of the chair of this debt-based system that's going to just increase that spiral downward. I mean, and look, add to that, the fact that the U.S. government is spending like a drunken sailor. And we're going to talk about Janet Yellen saying, oh, we've hit a soft landing. Matter of fact, I think Lena talks about it in this section. And Jerome Powell going, yeah, not so much. And where the government's current idea of spending is going. Like, for example, as of the recording of this live stream, the U.S. government currently debating and voting on a bill, new border security bill. The problem with that border security bill is that, guess what? I'm sorry. The lion's share of the money in that bill is going to the Ukraine, not to the U.S. border. Again, our government and the officials, elected officials in there, are corrupt as they come. They're bought and paid for. And again, that was a live stream previous to that. So unfortunately, that's not in the description below. You're going to have to go look that one up on YouTube. All right, let's get back to what she was saying. Sorry, I know I got off on a bit of a tangent there.
Well, as there is a buildup of uncertainty. Even though Janet Yellen has already announced that we reached soft landing, I don't think anybody believed that. Of course, the Federal Reserve is almost ready for the next QE cycle at this point. And that is likely not the sentiment that is shared by these businesses. It's quite the opposite. You just don't cut 83,000+ jobs in a month when you expect the economy to do well. Exactly.
That she summed it up very nicely right there. You don't do a shit ton of layoffs if you think that the economy throughout the course of the year is going to get better. So despite Janet Yellen coming out and trying to jawbone the economy by saying, yes, we've reached the soft landing and we're doing great. The economy is all yay, yay, yay. I mean, they just came out with a jobs report that was quite frankly, a pile of shit saying how many, oh, great new job growth and this and that, which is literally the complete opposite of what's going on in the economy. We're laying off 84,000, but they're saying we're adding 350,000 jobs. Again, you can go research all that on your own. The fact of the matter is you need to be able to sift through the bullshit that the government is putting out, because at the end of the day, the government is putting out a bunch of bullshit. You need to be able to figure that out and decide how you are going to move, how you are going to maneuver, how you are going to be able to point yourself in a direction where when the shit hits the fan, because it's not a matter of if, matter of when, what you're going to be able to do to help your family survive. That is literally, that's it in a nutshell. All right, let me cue up this last section we're going to watch on her video here. It's actually her and Jerome Powell, because she plays a video of the FOMC meeting, and it's about 2 minutes long. Try to cue it up right about there, maybe. All right. And it's about 2 minutes long altogether, and I'll interject in between, but you're going to get the point of, as she kind of tries to read through what he's saying. Okay. All right. Let's pull this up and give it a listen.
When we discuss layoffs, we have to keep in mind what the Federal Reserve may do this year. Definitely don't expect rate cuts until later this year. This week, the Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said that it is highly, highly unlikely that there will be cuts as early as March. First, the Fed needs to be confident, he said, that inflation is moving towards the target rate of 2%, but the path forward is uncertain, said Powell. Take a look.
But inflation is still too high. Ongoing progress in bringing it down is not assured, and the path forward is uncertain.
There's now a nearly 59% probability of a rate cut in May. That's the soonest, and a 54% chance the following month in June. There is an 80%.
All right. I know she's going to go through the stats here a little bit, and that's fine. We'll actually jump back in there in a second. As to basically, those are the stats where people are saying the actual rate cutting will happen. But here's the thing. Even in the last live stream I did when we were talking about money being debt, I was telling you there is no chance that the Fed is going to be, well, let's put it this way. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, old guy on the interwebs, right? You know the drill. But the chances of the Fed cutting interest rates in March, I think next month, is just next to non-existent. Now, as we go forward, I do believe as we go toward the latter half, second and third quarter of 2024, we're going to see rate cuts, because they're not going to have a choice. The economy's just going to keep spiraling. And again, we're gonna listen to Jerome Powell pretty much say exactly that as we move forward. Hey, Jar, good morning. Glad to see you here, my friend. Glad you're here. Appreciate it. So again, I'm gonna put that video back on. We got about another minute or so in that video. We'll listen to what she's got to say, and then we'll discuss it a little bit more. Okay.
Probability that the Fed will hold rates unchanged during the meeting in late March. During the same press conference, Powell said that the United States economy hasn't reached soft landing just yet. He contradicted what Janet Yellen said just 2 weeks ago, and he did say that it is too early to declare victory. Here's a clip.
I guess just as a quick follow-up, do you feel comfortable at this point saying the economy has reached a soft landing, or is that part of looking for more confidence?
No, I wouldn't say we've achieved that, and I think we have a ways to go. Inflation is still, core inflation is still well above target on a 12-month basis. 12 months is our target. Certainly, I'm encouraged, and we're encouraged by the progress, but we're not declaring victory at all at this point. We think we have a ways to go.
Well, and he's not wrong. We're gonna end off that video right now. And again, I hope you follow Lena Petrova. Great analyst. Again, she covers a lot of the world, frankly, but she tries to be a bit U.S. centric, because again, at the end of the day, as we speak, at the recording of this live stream, U.S. dollar still world reserve currency, but she talks a lot about the BRICS. So yeah, make sure that you follow her. Again, link to that video so you can watch it in its entirety in the description of this live stream. So again, you just heard him saying, even in the FOMC meeting, that soft landing, yeah, I'm not agreeing with Janet Yellen. Now, Janet Yellen's job, again, at the end of the day is to like spur the economy, you know, and get everybody feeling okay about the U.S. government going and spend more money. Because again, our government is spending like drunken sailors. And I go into great detail about that and how they're basically stealing from future generations by doing what they're doing in the last live stream that I did on last Wednesday. Link to that is in the description of this live stream. Now, make sure you go check that out. But what I want to do is that I want to go over a 60 minutes interview that they did with Jerome Powell, or at least a section of it. Because again, it's not like he's coming out and like, you know, blaring the, what's the word I want? You know, the alarms or anything like that about the economy. But if you listen to what he's saying, he's basically giving you yeah, shit is not good. He's giving you, yeah, the shit is not good right now. So let me bring that up real quick, and we're gonna give that a quick listen. Here we go. All right, we'll listen. It's only a minute long, so we'll listen to the whole thing, and then we'll go from there.
Another economic hangover after the pandemic is a
Sorry, I was trying to make it full screen. I hit
sharp
the wrong button.
increase in the national debt. 30 years from now, it is projected to be $144 trillion.
Okay. Is there anybody in this live stream that truly believes we're going to make it that far? I mean, please tell me. If you really think we're going to make it to $144 trillion deficit before everything collapses, put it in the comments. Or if you're watching this live stream after, put it in the comments below. You know, I don't see how that's it. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Jar. There ain't no damn chance on this planet how that's. I don't care how many like bullets they have in the gun, how many whatever, anything is possible. Yeah, I get it. You know, they may come up with some other trick, and like I mentioned way back in the beginning of this, Jar, I think you might have missed it. Is, you know, one of their options will be a CBDC, and but that's going to be a whole nother fight on another level of what they're trying to do here. But the bottom line is there ain't no chance we're reaching that kind of debt before everything really starts to go and collapse. And sorry, I know I just cut that off very shortly into that video, but let me bring that back up and let's listen to the rest of this here.
Or $1 million per household.
Yeah, because
how do you assess the national debt?
We mostly try very hard not to comment on fiscal policy and instruct Congress on how to do their job when actually they have oversight over us.
But is the national...
Now, I'm sorry, that in and of itself is funny. Congress has oversight over the Fed. And in technicality, that's true. But much like the Democrat Party and the Republican Party are, two wings of the same bird, the same is true with regard to the Treasury Department and the Fed. I'm sorry, it just is. I don't give a shit what he says, Janet Yellen says, any of our elected officials say. That those is the facts, man. Those is the facts.
National debt a danger to the economy, in your view?
In the long run, the U.S. is on an unsustainable fiscal path. The U.S. federal government's on an unsustainable fiscal path. And that just means that the debt is growing faster than the economy.
I have the sense this worries you very much.
Over the long run, of course it does. We're borrowing from future generations.
Exactly.
It's time for us to get back to putting a priority on fiscal sustainability, and sooner is better than later.
Okay. And so you get the point of what's going on there. He's basically telling you. He's telling you straight out in his nicely worded way, without, like I said, sounding alarm bells and all this other stuff, that this can't last. And at the end of the day, the Fed doesn't have any other remedies for what's going on. And, I know a lot of people, I know a lot of people in the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency space don't like Peter Schiff. And I get it. He's not, he's a gold bug. He's anti-Bitcoin basically from the get. I understand. But he put this tweet out and I thought it was apt for what to wrap up and put a bow, if you would, on what we're talking about in this live stream. And here it is right here. Whoops. When it comes to our dire financial situation, Powell is wrong. We're not just on an unsustainable path. We've already arrived at an unsustainable destination. I agree with him on that. As with Wile E. Coyote, and for those who are, come on now, please tell me everybody that's watching this live stream knows who Wile E. Coyote is. We've already run past the edge of the fiscal cliff. It's just that we haven't looked down yet. And again, if you understand and know Wile E. Coyote, ever watched any of those cartoons, the Roadrunner cartoons, that kind of thing, you understand exactly what that means. The Roadrunner just kind of, Wile E. Coyote just keeps kind of going off the cliff, and he's do until he decides to look down, and then it's like, oh shit, phew. And so again, I thought that that was not that I'm a Peter Schiff fan by any means, but I thought his analogy with that was apt. It was apt. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we that old. Exactly. Automatic beats. Exactly. I appreciate that. Yeah, I am that old. All right. So again, trying to get you to it. Whoops. What the heck just happened there? Here we go. Sorry about that, guys. Wrong buttons, I guess. Listen, again, the premise behind these live streams is to help to increase your understanding. Because again, most people don't even understand what money is. I think that the people who might be watching this live stream more so than the average bear in the United States. What cartoon did that come from? Come on, tell me. Ooh, smarter than the average bear. Anyway, oh, wait, I got an answer maybe? Yeah. Yeah, baby. Sunday morning cartoons. That's Saturdays and Sundays back in the day. I used to love that. Yeah. You waited for those. And the answer is Yogi Bear. Hey, boo boo. Yeah, my Yogi Bear ain't that good. Anyway, but yes, exactly for us old people. Again, old guy interwebs. But again, I think the majority of the people who are probably listening to this have a better than average understanding of exactly what money is, and hopefully a better than average understanding of how and why you should be outside of the system, or be prepared to be outside of that system. My goal this week, in as far as getting information out to you, is hopefully on Thursday I'll be dropping the video that'll show you how to get the Dash wallet onto your phone. I'll show you the issues that I talked about earlier with regard to KYC and getting Dash on your wallet, and then how you can still do that. So we're ready to take the next step into being able to live on cryptocurrency, which is utilizing something like Bit Refill in order to do that. I don't know, Chris. You got to prove to me you got me beat there, bud. I don't know. Although I appreciate the old thing. I do. All right. So yeah. Watch for that video coming out on Thursday. Consider the fact that you need to be able and ready to move outside for when this thing does collapse, because it is going to collapse. And again, I'm trying to get your thought process to the fact of, okay, what can you do now to prepare? We talk DCA all the time. So I'm going to go, this is the same answers I gave you in the last two live streams. So to me, the how doesn't change. except for how it works best for you. Again, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, old guy on the interwebs. But DCA, you should DCA, and DCA for the long-term hodl, okay? Long-term hodl. And then you should consider being able to live outside the system and at least trying it now for being able to be outside that system, how it actually works. I also would tell you to consider DCAing outside of crypto, because as much as I think cryptocurrency, and I'm not going to lie, I mean, the majority of my portfolios are all crypto related. So, I mean, they tell you, you know, you shouldn't go more than 10% into crypto. Well, I passed that a long freaking time ago. But anyway, you know, again, not financial advice. You got to do what's best for you, your family. But, you know, you probably want to consider some kind of diversification. I'm going to talk gold, precious metals. Again, if that's something that interests you, you can DCA into, I got you beat by a lot, frankly. Anyway, so if you look at the DCA into gold or precious metals, I got a link in the description of this, to Acre Gold. You can DCA $50 a month at Acre Gold, and it gets mailed right to your door. It doesn't get any freaking easier than that. All right, so let's bring this together and tell you where we're going from here. Again, I'm trying to create a kind of live stream series right now to help educate you about exactly what money is, what is debt, how you can be prepared to be outside this cycle when it comes, because the collapse is going to come. It's just a matter of when it's going to come, right? And, you know, how you can be prepared not only to survive, but to succeed, and do as best as humanly possible when that happens. So I hope you find this helpful. I hope that you continue to tune in. And again, if you are new here, because I can see there's quite a few people here, I appreciate that very much. Make sure that you subscribe, click that bell icon, click the all so you get notified every time I go live. The rest of this week, I'll be live tomorrow on the Matrix Money podcast. And like I told you, we got a lot of stuff, a lot of giveaways this month on the Matrix Money podcast. With, again, doing a Tangent wallet. We're going to be doing the Bible and Bitcoin book giveaway. We're going to be doing a jingle miner giveaway. So a lot of stuff, but you got to be subscribed to the Matrix Money podcast channel. Link to do that in the description of this live stream. So tomorrow, 10 a.m., Matrix Money podcast channel. I will do a rebroadcast on this channel, but again, in order to be able to be eligible as we do any of these, you're going to have to be live on Matrix Money podcast. And then Wednesday, I'll be live here again. What am I going to be talking about? I have no freaking idea. But I'm sure it'll be something, unless there's a new news item, I'm going to be trying to do a little bit more education in this regard. And then, of course, I'm looking Thursday to have that information out about Dash, getting it on your phone, and getting prepared to be outside of that system. And as always, Friday night, 7 p.m. for Crypto on the Rocks. I appreciate it. Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. Automatic Beats. I appreciate that. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate all of you being here. Automatic Beats, Chris, Jar. I appreciate all of you being in here. So again, you'll see me. Oh, wait, let me clear that. There we go. You'll see me tomorrow. Make sure you're there, 10 a.m. Matrix Money podcast channel. Good stuff coming on the Matrix Money podcast. So don't miss that. And then I'll see you here, CryptoCoinMindSet, Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. All right. I hope you all have a great week. Thank you for being here to start out your week. And I will see you